Welcome to our deep dive into human-computer interaction, or HCI. You know, it's something we experience every single day, whether we're scrolling through our phones, using an ATM, or even interacting with a smart home device. Today, we'll explore the key aspects that make these user-computer interactions seamless and effective. We're talking about the principles and techniques that go into designing systems that are not only functional, but also intuitive and enjoyable to use. So, what makes HCI so crucial in today's world? Well, think about it. Technology is everywhere. We rely on it for communication, work, entertainment, and so much more. And the way we interact with this technology has a huge impact on our overall experience. A well-designed system can make our lives easier, more productive, and even more enjoyable. On the flip side, a poorly designed system can lead to frustration, errors, and even safety risks. That's why HCI professionals are in such high demand. They're the ones who bridge the gap between humans and technology, ensuring that systems are designed with the user in mind. Throughout this video, we'll be unpacking the core principles of HCI, from user-centered design to cognitive modeling and beyond. By the end, you'll have a solid understanding of how these principles shape the technology we use every day. Let's kick things off with the foundation of HCI, user-centered design. Think of it as the golden rule of creating any user interface. It's all about understanding the needs, preferences, and limitations of the people who will actually be using the system. We're not just talking about making things look pretty, it's about understanding how people think and behave and designing systems that align with those natural patterns. So, how do we get inside the minds of our users? That's where techniques like user interviews, surveys, and usability testing come into play. These methods allow us to gather valuable insights into user behaviors, preferences, and pain points. Imagine you're designing a new mobile banking app. User interviews could reveal that users find the navigation confusing, while usability testing might show that the process for transferring funds is cumbersome. This feedback is pure gold for HCI professionals. By incorporating user feedback throughout the design process, we can create systems that are truly intuitive and user-friendly. It's about iteration and refinement, constantly testing and tweaking until we get it right. And trust me, the effort is worth it. When users can easily navigate a system, find what they're looking for, and accomplish their goals without a hitch, it leads to a positive and rewarding user experience. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of cognitive modeling. This is where HCI meets psychology. Cognitive modeling is all about creating representations of how users think and process information. It's like creating a mental map of their thought processes. One popular approach is called GOMS, which stands for Goals, Operators, Methods, and Selection Rules. GOMS allows us to break down a task into its fundamental components. We identify the user's goals, the actions they take, operators, the different ways they can achieve those actions, methods, and the rules they use to choose between those methods. By modeling these cognitive processes, we can predict how users will interact with a system and identify potential usability issues before they even arise. For example, imagine you're designing an e-commerce website. Cognitive modeling can help you understand how users navigate through product categories, compare different options, and ultimately make a purchase decision. By identifying potential bottlenecks or areas of confusion in this process, you can optimize the user interface to make the shopping experience as smooth and enjoyable as possible. It's like predicting the future of user experience. Next up, we have heuristic evaluation, a powerful technique for catching usability issues early in the design process. Think of it as a usability checkup for your system. Heuristics are basically established usability principles or best practices that have stood the test of time. These principles provide a framework for evaluating the usability of a system and identifying areas for improvement. Some common heuristics include consistency, feedback, error prevention, and efficiency. Consistency ensures that elements within the system are used in a uniform way, making it easier for users to learn and remember how things work. Feedback provides users with clear and timely information about their actions, letting them know they're on the right track. Error prevention aims to minimize the opportunity for users to make mistakes while efficiency focuses on streamlining interactions to help users achieve their goals quickly and easily. During a heuristic evaluation, HCI experts will meticulously examine a system, comparing it against these established heuristics. They'll look for any violations or areas where the system doesn't quite align with these best practices. For instance, if a button that's supposed to save your work is labeled cancel, that's a clear violation of the consistency heuristic and could lead to user errors. Heuristic evaluations are like having a second pair of expert eyes on your design, helping to catch potential problems before they become major headaches. Now let's talk about how users actually solve problems when interacting with technology. In a perfect world, every user would interact with our systems flawlessly, following the intended path without a hitch. But let's face it, real life is messy. Users make mistakes, they explore, they experiment, and as HCI professionals, we need to design systems that can handle this messy reality. One key insight from HCI research is that users often rely on trial and error when learning a new system or figuring out how to perform a task. They click around, they try different options, and they learn from their mistakes. This means our systems need to be forgiving of these explorations. Clear error messages, undo functionality, and intuitive ways to backtrack are crucial for supporting this natural problem-solving process. Think about the last time you used a new app. Did you read the entire user manual before diving in? Probably not. You likely just started exploring, tapping on buttons, swiping left and right, and figuring things out as you went along. HCI recognizes that this is how people learn and adapts design principles accordingly. By designing systems that provide clear feedback, prevent errors whenever possible, and offer help when needed, we can create a more positive and empowering user experience. Let's move on to a fundamental technique called task analysis. This is where we roll up our sleeves and really get into the nitty-gritty of how users interact with the system. Task analysis involves breaking down a complex task into its smaller, more manageable subtasks. It's like creating a step-by-step recipe for how a user accomplishes a specific goal. By understanding the individual steps involved in a task, we can identify potential pain points, streamline the process, and design interfaces that are both efficient and user-friendly. Imagine you're designing a system for booking flights online. Through task analysis, you might discover that users find it frustrating to enter their passport information multiple times or to compare flight options across different airlines. Armed with this knowledge, you can optimize the interface to make these steps as seamless as possible. Perhaps you could pre-fill passport information for returning users or create a side-by-side comparison tool for flight options. Task analysis allows us to understand the user's journey in detail, enabling us to design interfaces that are tailored to their specific needs and goals. It's like optimizing a workflow for peak efficiency. Now, let's explore the different ways users can interact with computers. This is where interaction styles come into play. From the early days of command line interfaces to the graphical user interfaces we know and love today, interaction styles have evolved dramatically. Each style has its strengths and weaknesses, and choosing the right one depends on the specific task and the target user group. Command line interfaces, while powerful for experienced users, can be daunting for beginners. Graphical user interfaces, with their intuitive windows, icons, and menus, made computing accessible to a much wider audience. And today we're seeing the rise of natural user interfaces, which allow us to interact with technology using more human-like methods such as touch, voice, and gestures. Consider the task of editing a photo. A graphical user interface with its visual tools and menus might be the most intuitive choice. But for a task like writing a complex script, a command line interface might offer more power and flexibility, and for interacting with a smart home device, voice commands might be the most natural and convenient option. HCI professionals carefully consider these factors when selecting the most appropriate interaction style for a given system. Finally, let's talk about the importance of human factors and ergonomics in HCI. This is all about designing systems that align with the physical and cognitive capabilities of human beings. We're talking about things like minimizing cognitive load, providing appropriate physical controls and ensuring accessibility for all users. Cognitive load refers to the mental effort required to use a system. A well-designed system minimizes cognitive load, making it easy for users to understand and remember information. This might involve using clear and concise language, grouping related information together, and providing visual cues to guide users through the interface. Physical ergonomics focuses on designing systems that are comfortable and safe to use for extended periods. This might involve considering factors like screen size and placement, keyboard and mouse design, and seating arrangements. And accessibility is all about ensuring that systems are usable by people with a wide range of abilities, including those with visual, auditory, motor, or cognitive impairments. This might involve providing alternative input methods, adjusting font sizes and colors, and offering screen reader compatibility. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the world of human-computer interaction. From user-centered design to cognitive modeling, heuristic evaluation, and beyond, HCI provides a powerful toolkit for creating systems that are not only functional, but also intuitive and enjoyable to use. By understanding how people think, learn, and interact with technology, we can design systems that empower users and enhance their overall experience. As technology continues to advance at an unprecedented pace, the principles of HCI will become even more crucial. From artificial intelligence to virtual reality and beyond, the way we interact with technology is constantly evolving. And with each new technological leap, HCI professionals will be there, working behind the scenes to ensure that these systems are designed with the user in mind. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the world of technology.